Okay, Michelle. So, how did you find the campus ministry?
How did I find it? I was working, or about to work, in resident services, and we were doing a tour of all the services, and Tim and Klaus were doing this play about what students will need.
Oh, the backpack.
With a backpack, and that's when I first got introduced to the campus ministry, and went, they're interesting.
Okay.
And they had a survey when they were trying to figure out what the campus was made out of for denomination and representation. And I sat there and went, well, I was baptized United. Let's check that box. And got a phone call and
So you were contacted.
was
Somebody
contacted
followed
and
through.
Followed up and followed up and said, we have this event that's happening next weekend. Do you want to come? And I said, sure, why not?
So why did you get involved in campus ministry?
Did I get involved?
Yeah.
I had been baptized as a child, had exposure through stories, but not through actual attendance, besides weddings and funerals and baptisms, and wanted to know more. I was really seeking. Where knowing that there was something more, having that feeling, but not really.
So you weren't like a every Sunday go to church kind of person?
I so wasn't. Really? I had been to church, like I said, weddings, funerals, and baptisms, so probably about 12 times in my entire life.
Know that. That's wonderful. So you got more involved with church. Campus ministry was part of the doorway to get back into church.
It definitely was. The campus ministry provided a place where I could ask the questions without feeling that I had 55 eyes or 100 eyes looking at me going, well, what is that all about? And how do you do that? Or
So it was a safe place to ask questions.
And it was a place where I was able to get the answers from different traditions. Because it was more ecumenical, and I could hear how different denominations looked at it.
Right. And you probably saw other young people asking the same sort of questions.
And as time went on, and they were asking their questions, and that prompted more questions. And it was a great place just to explore and grow and learn and have those questions answered or thought about and debated.
So how has campus ministry impacted your life?
How was campus ministry? Besides providing that entrance into the congregational life, provided me with a foundation for questioning and ways to look at my faith and a place to start growing that within community. Because I'd been developing that myself, but needed that place where I could reference with others and check it out and be nurtured and grow.
What kind of memories do you have of campus ministry? What activities did you do, or what was it?
What was campus ministry? When I was there, campus ministry involved a lot of things. Some of my fondest memories were sitting in the chapel space and chaplain space and having conversations and interacting about everything from what was happening on campus and how that impacted our lives to what was God? And what are we doing and how does that impact our lives? And I love the fact that campus ministry allowed us to have our own ideas and be nurtured to grow in them. One of the projects that we did when I was there was something called Out in the Cold, where we spent 2 nights, no, more than 2 nights, a week in a tent, and it happened to be the coldest nights of the year, to help raise awareness of homelessness and provide an opportunity for people to donate to ministries that help with easing the burdens and struggles of people on the street.
That was about homelessness. I seem to recall, Michelle, you spent a lot of time in Chaplain Tim's office, because of course there was a couch there and there were other people to hang out with. So you found a home there.
I found a home there, and I found a place where I felt safe to explore, and a place that was comforting, and you got to actually know people, as opposed to just being another person walking through Mac Hall. It was a place where you could go and somebody would know who you are and be really interested when they ask, how are things going? And that was important.
Right, so instead of being completely anonymous on campus, it's you get an identity, at least there's some family, quote unquote, friends, community.
There was a community.
Yeah.
And really very important for grounding and helping.
Yeah. So how are you involved in the church now?
How am I involved in the church now?
Or how have you been in the last few years?
Through campus ministry, I also was introduced. Tim kept trying to get me to look into youth ministry positions, and I have worked with youth in the church for 5 years now. It also helped open that call to ministry that I felt and kind of denied for a while. So I'm currently at the end of my discernment process and have been recommended for ordination.
That's great. So the door to university was a door to campus ministry, the door to campus ministry, a door to being a youth worker, being more involved in the church, and now even heading towards discernment and eventually church professional.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll probably have just answered the question, but why would you say in general, why is campus ministry an important part of the church, an important part of the denomination?
Campus ministry is an important part because it can help reach out to people who both are in the church and struggling with being in the church or going through periods of time, but also for the people like myself who is really seeking to find out what the congregational life was like. What's church like? Why do people attend church? Why is that an important part? And opening the door to getting into congregations.
Did you ever think you would head towards being a minister yourself?
No, there's no, no. I never would have dreamed. And if 10 years ago you would have said, you're going to go into ministry, I would have laughed at you.
Yeah. So this has been sort of a wonderful surprise, a great unexpected journey.
It is. My plan was originally to do my psychology degree, to go do my master's in psychology, and to be a family child psychologist.
So maybe one of the things that campus ministry does is it helps provide future church leaders, both ordained and also lay.
There's definitely a place to grow leaders.
Yeah.
And I have quite a few friends who were in campus ministry who also were lay leaders within the church and have considered their role in more formal leadership.
That's wonderful. And is there anything else you want to say about campus ministry? The chaplaincy or your experience?
I found it to be a place that was a place that you could, like I said, can create hope and a wonderful place to grow.
So where are you thinking of, where are you worshiping now? What are you doing now? And where will you go to school once you go to seminary?
I'm currently at St. David's United, which was, or is the congregation that I first went to after I decided that I needed a congregation. I needed to be part of the bigger church. And I'm working currently with them on their transition team and a little bit in their youth ministry, and plan to, or hope to be accepted into AST, Atlantic School of Theology.
So you're crossing your fingers and saying your prayers that you get to go to the East Coast. That's wonderful. Well, thanks for sharing some of your story, and we're happy you were involved with campus ministry, and God bless you for 100 years or more. That's great, Michelle. I think Tim can get stuff out of there.
I'm like, is there anything else you need?